right. All right. So I want to talk about Iran and what's taking place. Now, I I'm of the mindset of Brian Belletti that Iran has been in the pipeline for decades. Brian does a lot of reading of the so-called think tanks, and those think tanks basically telegraph the play that they're going to make, and he follows them closely. He takes the time to go by line, reading them, and then taking into account what he himself has come to understand from experience and so on and so forth. So, this is not to say that Brian is always right, even in his own interpretation, which is usually the right interpretation. But and Brian even admits it. Like he was wrong about Syria. He thought Syria was secure, that and so on and so forth. And then when Syria fell, that he was shocked. But that's about the only thing he's actually gotten wrong. Now he didn't have the proper contextual understanding. He was missing out on several things, even though he had read about what think tanks have been saying about Syria. Now he had thought that the plans made out about Syria, had basically the projected plans had timeline had ellipsed, and therefore there was no more danger. But he was wrong, and he admitted to it. Now, I am starting to think, because I bought into a lot of the stuff about Iran, about how Iran has such huge capacity and capability with its missiles. I was, however, basing that earlier on because of Raisi, who I did not believe died by accident. And when Pezeskian got in, I started to have serious doubts about Iran and the Iranians. And honestly, I was thinking at the time that the supreme leader, the Ayatollah, and I always get confused with the old Ayatollah that I heard growing up all those years. I know that one is it Khomeini or what? I'm sure that I'm positive that he had passed away, and a new one. And so, because their names are so similar. So the old supreme leader, and the new supreme leader. And the new supreme leader, I was surprised that he did not basically invalidate Pezeskian getting in, or at least curbing what decisions Pezeskian could make, especially on the intelligence and military front. So, when Pezeskian came in, I was mentally pounding my head, thinking, what the hell is wrong with the Iranians? Do they not understand that you cannot deter a foe who is determined to go to war with you? It's not a matter of it's like saying I want to be uber rich, so therefore I'm uber rich. That's outside of reality. It's not gonna happen. I can't just say I'm uber rich and makes me uber rich because I say it and I will it. So that's what I thought of the Iranians putting in Pezeskian, with the death of Raisi, I was thinking, oh, there goes Iran has fucked up bad. And then there was when Russia and Iran had signed some deals, and they were saying that originally they had said the Iranians and the Russians had signed a defensive pact, and I think that might have been the case if Raisi, but I think Pezeskian in his naive stupidity, along with all those fools that voted him in, and I don't mind calling them utter fools, naive fools who still live in the delusion that they're dealing with rational actors from the U.S. or from Israel, that they have any basis in morality or ethics. So I think that is why Iran was caught with their pants down when Israel, with the green light from the U.S., because let's face it, Israel is a military outpost for the U.S. And so it wasn't simply Israel. It was the U.S. and the West launching an attack, and the ones pulling the triggers and everything else were the Zionist Nazis. Russia did offer defensive and other military assets, but of course, Pezeskian, being who he is, this delusional moron, didn't take the offer. I think Raisi would have, and I think he was the perfect patsy for the warmongers of U.S. and Israel, and I'm not sure I buy the argument that so many are making that Iran has the capacity to outlast Um, and I think too many Iranians still believe there's a way to appease the U.S. And therefore Israel from going all out on them. So, and I think with Pezeshkian in there, even though he might, him and his liberal dupes, you know, I think that they will end up being the levers that will cause Iran to suffer so greatly that they will ultimately start to buckle, and I think they won't even realize that they need to call upon China and Russia to come and intervene in keeping them from collapse. And I think that's where it's going. So I'm not with all the others. I think air dominance does play a determining role, and that's what the U.S. has, air dominance through Israel. I think all that bluster about firing on U.S. bases, including those in the so-called Gulf Arab states, and then there's Egypt. I think Egypt will pounce on that as well, especially in the context that if Iran is seriously put on the back foot. So I'm not, I don't want. This is not a. I'm pro-Israel, and I'm just being realistic about this. And I can't stand. I can't stand that Zionist Nazi state, and I can't stand the U.S. Criminal class. The colonial Nazis who run things in the U.S. and in Europe. Yeah, it's I just think that too many in the global majority, the non-West, are too naive, too easily distracted by the moment-by-moment verbal nonsense that sounds good and everything else, and not coming to the realization that you cannot deter those who won't be deterred from taking aggressive, hostile, murderous actions. I've made videos about this, that you cannot stop that, and the only way you can stop that is not by saying, "Oh, we're looking for peace, we're looking for stability, we're looking for security, we're looking for this and that," and that's just mealy mouth garbage. You can't deter somebody who's if somebody's determined to come and punch me in the face, I'm not going to be able to tell them, "Oh, look, I don't want trouble. I don't want trouble. I don't want trouble." Okay, I have nothing. I don't want any trouble. They're determined to hit me in the face. They're gonna come and hit me in the face, and the only way you can deter that is by when they say they're gonna come punch me, I go in and start fucking wailing, as wailing to deter them, and to put them down and make sure they don't get back up. That's how you deal with it. You do not deter by basically spewing out verbal niceties, okay? By saying, I don't have any hostile aggressive intentions towards you. That's not how it works. What you need is force needs to be applied with force. And you need to use the force to deter, okay? This does not make you the hostile aggressor. It makes you the ones truly defending yourself. And the U.S. and West have always used this idea that they're defending themselves when all of their atrocious hostile aggression has been for centuries outside of their fucking borders. Aside from the fact before colonial period, they were going at each other, doing the most atrocious shit to each other. There's thousands of years of that, and then they exported that outward so that they can gather more resources, more power, and everything else, so that they could do it. And then within that time period of colonialism, which is still continuing, they started to come together, and they just they pretty much throw verbal stuff at each other, but they've come to understand that the unity and hostile aggression of this mafia feudal mentality works. They've demonstrated it, and every single time, those in the global majority have succumbed and capitulated. I just put out the video. Give an inch, they take a mile, and then they demand more miles. And that's what it is. So I'm tired of hearing mealy-mouthed verbal niceties, vomiting out these verbal niceties. I'm tired of listening to it. The one sane conclusion you can come to is that you cannot and will not deter somebody who's coming. Somebody says, I'm going to come to your house. I'm going to take this big-ass knife, and I'm going to stick it into you and bleed you like a pig. And you say, but why? I've done nothing. I don't have any hostile aggression towards you. And then, lo and behold, that person, probably while you're talking, comes out with that knife and starts sticking it to you and bleeds you like a pig. And that's what the so-called West is. And the people in the West are too complacent, too apathetic, too busy in their individual self-interests to come to understand that their so-called leadership are traitors, betrayers, liars, schemers, murderous thugs, bandits, and every single thing. And all they do is lie to you. That saying from their so-called religious text, philosophical, it's like the greatest trick the devil ever did was to make it so that everybody believes the devil does not exist. And so, and that's the same thing. They, even in their religious section, they say Satan is the father of lies. And so it's like, and so what do our so-called leaders do? They lie on the domestic front. They lie on the international stage. They lie. Meanwhile, they're telling you, "Oh, we're looking out for you. Oh, we're doing everything to." It's all lies. It's all lies. And if you can't pick that up, and if you can't, I'm not sure that you understand your history. And I'm not sure that your history isn't as much fabricated as the so-called history taught here in the U.S. Get it through your thick fucking heads. There is no deterring those who will not be deterred. And the only way to stop a determined enemy is to be determined to stop that enemy at all costs. It's. I'm not talking this circular logic that of peace through war and all that. That's circular logic. I'm talking about deterrence. Deterrence being able to use the same amount of force or greater to deter your enemies, so that they say your determined enemies. So that the determined enemies say, okay, the cost is too much. So, the only way you're going to deter the U.S. and the Europeans is to make them go on the back foot and make sure they understand that the cost is too much. The whole thing about their nuclear weapons stockpile, that has to do with blackmail. They are blackmailing. And the thing is, the whole idea that we are madmen and we'll do anything and everything, it seems to go out of your fucking heads that they're not as mad as you think they are. When it comes down to the ruling class in the West, when it comes down to self-preservation, they are the most self-absorbed creatures in the world, and they will not place their self-preservation in jeopardy. This is not to say that they're not willing to use a few nukes to get everybody in a panic, but beyond that, they're not insane enough. They're not insane enough to actually go out onto a full-on nuclear Armageddon. That's the conclusion, and that's a sane conclusion. So, China, develop as much as you want. Protect your meaningless GDP and PPP and all that other stuff. But when it comes down to it, if you don't use deterrence from the ones who won't be deterred from wanting to do the violence and the hostility in Russia, if you're not willing to do the deterrence in the same way I just talked about China and everywhere else in the world, then guess what? You stand. You will stand alone and fall alone. And the most violent and vile creatures in history will take over, and they will leave even without you. Even without you, they will leave a world of desolation. And those you people in the U.S. and West have to come to realize that they don't see you as anything other than proxies and puppets, to march you down, to the hell, and they'll describe that hell as paradise.